Welcome back to Shop Circle Garage, for today we are exhausted. Well, kind of. My hair is soaking wet. I don't know if you can see it already because I've been sweating. But we're putting the exhaust on. And we did some sketchy stuff. So we didn't record that because we don't want somebody yelling at us telling us how sketchy it was. So it was pretty sketchy, wasn't it? That's okay. So we got the front Y pipe to the catalytic converter on. The catalytic converter, don't tell anybody, but it's hollowed out. It's empty. There's nothing there. It's just a shell. Anyway, that's fine. So we elected to go ahead and put the exhaust back on that was on it when I got it, instead of the dual exhaust from the other car. So we got a little work to do to finish that up. And then hopefully after that happens, we'll go run town and get some premium gas through it and let it run for a while and see what's what. But for this one, we're going to get some exhaust on. And you're going to eat an egg. And I'm going to eat an egg, but I can't even see to open it. Why is it all mushy and melty? Has it been in your pocket this whole time? Yes. It's a melted Easter egg. And there's little pieces of foil going all over the floor. Yeah. All right, I got a melted egg. And some dirt. That's fine.
Does it still taste good?
It's great. All right, here's our catalytic converter, or lack thereof. So we're going to have to clean that off. We're going to have to clean that off before we can attach anything to that. So let's clean that off and then find the rest of the exhaust. All right, we got the other pieces been laying out in the rain and dirt and mud forever. See if we can snake it up over back here, over top of everything, around.
Wasn't that like really hard to get out?
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out, and finally we just cut it off. Okay, so that's kind of in there. We need it to be for a second.
Then
Here's this clamp that's doing absolutely nothing. It's supposed to be back here. Maybe we'll reclamp it on. I don't know.
It's cold.
This is cold?
No, I'm cold.
Oh, okay. So then before we bolt that together tonight, we're gonna need to put some red high temp stuff because we didn't get a gasket for it.
In my pocket.
We're just gonna cover it with red high temp stuff. Push it. Where are you going? You're the only microphone. I can't hear you up where you're talking. Okay, as I was saying before she ran away where you couldn't hear me, maybe you could because I yelled across the thing. Anyway, we don't have a gasket, so we're using some red high temp stuff. Put it in there, smush it together, and find some bolts and nuts and put on there. Maybe we should find some bolts and nuts first, so when we're smushing it and holding it, we can, hold it.
Can you do that?
Me do that?
Yeah, because I have to get the scissors.
Well, you open that. I'll find the wrong nuts and bolts, and then we'll be ready to.
I'm going to get the scissors too.
I got 2 bolts. That'll squish nice and good, don't you think? I got it all over my hand. Oh, man. Caught me. Red-handed.
Okay. He's going to be on for a second, and I'm going to try and put... it doesn't reach. So we're just gonna let that hang there for a sec because it doesn't reach.
You don't put a bolt in, you got the bolts.
I'm trying, but
I'm holding it. The top ones. Start with this bottom one, it's closest.
This one?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it's coming through.
Okay. Now try to start the other ones. So I don't have to hold it forever. Start this one should thread if we can reach it.
The top one above that one?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you would have taken the nuts off the bolts already.
No.
I don't think it started in the nut. Okay.
Can I let go?
Yeah, I don't think the top one went yet. I don't know if we need to put. That's the one we had to clean out, so it might be kind of tight. All right, well, we got that. Oh, that pipe. Nice 3-inch pipe that I cut off earlier. Well, the first round is hanging. There you can see where I cut off a hanger. Well, I have it right here. So, where's it go? Like that? Oh man, sorry, I wasn't even close. So that's the hanger. I want to attempt to weld that back onto there and screw that back up. And then, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to go take these over to that was terrible, I'm sorry. So we're going to clean these up a little bit, clean these up a little bit, try to weld them back together so I can use the hanger again. And then you see I've already cleaned off the end of that pipe for the most part. I missed a spot or two. And then down here, where's that? There it is. That's the muffler that was on there before, so I'll have to clean up that end a little bit. Didn't cut it straight when I cut it off, so clean that up a little bit. And see if we can weld that back in there. We can get that done, then we'll have an exhaust. And at that point, then we'll run down, like I said, and get some more gas and see if we can let it run for a while. See what's going to work and what's not going to work. But before we do that, I'll take this over and get it cleaned up. All right, well, we're back from autos now. We got this little, ouch, 3-inch, got my hand on 3-inch jigima flopper thingamajig here. Because we know that I'm terrible welder. I already messed up some welds. So instead of trying to weld this, the other thing, the muffler, we're just gonna stick that on there. And then we got, where'd that come from? Then we got 2 little clampy dillies. So we will just clamp, and rub a muffler on. Before we do that, there's another thing on the hanger I'm gonna weld up horribly like I already did once. So for some reason, the exhaust that came, this is the exhaust that came off of here. And it is not wanting to go back on the same way it came off. So the hanger back here that I welded back together did not line up right. Pipe was
I'm cold.
You're cold. The pipe was hitting the drive shaft, so to fix that, I rigged up the hanger differently, re-welded it differently. I welded another piece onto there to help hold it, and then surely that'll break at some point as soon as we take our first test drive or set the car on the ground or something. So that'll be good. If that happens, we'll just take it to an exhaust shop and have them do, the right thing. So,
and then they're going to look at it and be like, who did this horrible job?
Yeah, I'll just tell them I did a horrible job. So let's do some more horrible welding, and then
okay.
We'll get back with you. I don't know how the phone reacts to welding, so we're just not going to record it. All right, well, as everything else has been, that was frustrating. We got the Y pipe put on, like we said earlier, in a sketchy manner, and then we got the, I guess what you call the intermediate pipe put on there. And then the parts we got from AutoZone to try to buy like a little adapter dealie to put on there. It didn't adapt, and stuff didn't line up right, and it was, I don't know how the exhaust comes off the car and doesn't go back on the car the same way.
That does not make sense.
I don't know. So we're going to figure something else out for the exhaust to finish it off. But before we finish off this video, I think we should go ahead and put some gas in it since we got gas. We'll put some more gas in it, see if it still runs, and see what it sounds like with essentially a straight pipe. Maybe we'll just leave it like that. Who knows?
The tube's already over there.
What?
The tube is all the way over there, so it's gonna go boom.
Well, there shouldn't be much junk in there, but anyway,
Because we
back up.
we aired it out.
What?
We aired it out.
We aired what out?
The back.
All right, battery check's back up. Still don't have a driver's seat. We got some new sun visors on the way. They're supposed to be here Monday. But if it still starts. Battery charger.
Yes.
Why do you act like you don't know what things are called these days?
Because I forgot. I knew what it looked like. I just forgot what it's called.
All right.
Well.
Now let's give it another shot. Not quite.
So wait a second.
So let's give it a minute. All right, we took her up a notch. We give her all of the amps. See what we got.
Ah, I can hear.
Well,
That was a shaking.
it was not wanting to come down on idle. It was at 2200 RPM. The battery was smoking, so that's probably not good.
That probably also broke your eardrums.
Maybe.
Because I was standing here, right here,
Yeah.
the entire time when it was like.
Well, we got some exhaust on, not all the exhaust on. Nowhere close to what I wanted to get done today. Carbon monoxide detector's beeping in the background. Sorry if you hear that. We've been running the car for a little bit. The stuff we got to try to get the muffler put back on, it's not going to work out. For some reason, it acts like this exhaust has never been on this car before when it came right off the car. And nothing lines up the way it was. So, I don't know what we're going to do to finish it off with the muffler. Maybe we won't even put one on. I don't know. Yeah, we probably will. But we also discovered a massive vacuum leak. That's why we're running 2200 RPM at idle. So we got to figure out where it's coming from for sure. I think it's the cold start injector maybe, or the gaskets over there. I'm not 100% sure at this point. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to eat or drink your shopsicles.
Whew, this one's gross.
Goated.
We got new tires.
I want to sit on them.